Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our OpenText Live webinar series. My name is Gretchen Burgess, and I'm the Senior Partner Training Manager for our Global Partner Program. As this version of our OpenText Live webinar series is presented by our valuable OpenText partners. Today's partner presenting will be FME. But before I hand it over to them, I'd like to remind everyone of a few things. The first is that we do record every webinar in this series, and we post it on our external page, opentext.com/events. If you go to that page, you'll be able to see all of the upcoming webinars, but you'll also be able to see on the second tab where it says recorded, all of the historical webinars that we've held, and you can refer back to them. You can share the link, you can watch it again, and you can always contact us if you have any questions at all at partners@opentext.com. Today's webinar will be in regards to migrating content to OpenText Content Server and extended ECM Business Workspaces. And one more thing before I hand it over to our presenter is that if you have a question at any time during the presentation, we ask that you please put it into the chat or the Q&A panels by clicking on those areas at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you don't see those panels in that location, you can access the toolbar at the bottom of your WebEx window to bring up those areas of WebEx. All right, and I'd now like to hand it over to our first speaker of the day, Florian. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Gretchen, for the introduction. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and wherever you're listening to us. So my name is Florian. So I'm running the products at FME, and today with me is my colleague Vasily. He's the head of Migration Center Development, and he will take care later on a live demo of our OpenText Content Server and xECM integration from our product Migration Center. So this webinar is divided in mainly three parts. So the first part is a little bit about FME, just to let you know where we are located, things like that. And then I will go into, let's say, into the topic, into our migration portfolio, and I will tell you a little bit, give you a little bit of information about Migration Center itself. So, and the second part, we will go into the xECM topic, as well as showing you a live demo. And at the end of the presentation, we will give you some more information about our migration services. And as Gretchen mentioned, so we will have a Q&A session at the end. So, and we try to answer all your questions you may, let's say, send us within the chat box. Okay, so let's start with FME. So FME is founded in 1995. So we are headquartered in Germany with offices in Romania. That's where Vasily is located at the moment, and the United States. So we are about 250 employees. So we are mainly focusing on digital transformation for the life science and industrial manufacturing industry, but we also, of course, have a lot of customers in other industries as well. And usually we help our customers with consulting, conception, development, maintenance, and that's the topic for today, with our product Migration Center. So our main areas in terms of technology are enterprise content management, so business intelligence, cloud computing, social collaboration, and we also do custom software development. So that's just a short and quick overview about FME. So, and now let's go deeper into the topic of the content migration from server systems to content server xECM. So first of all, I'd like to give you an overview about our migration portfolio. So we typically help our customers to reduce costs, manage risk, increase productivity, and fasten the go-live of ECM applications by delivering our product and our services. And we are mainly focused on complex migration and consolidation scenarios. But I will give you more details about our use cases we usually address within the next slides. So, and with our product and our portfolio, so we've proven that we can save 60% in cost and about 80% of project durations when it comes to migration and with the use of our product and our professional service offering. So as I mentioned, so we address a couple of use cases. So for the content suite and for xECM. So, and we try to, let's say, create a kind of slide which shows you the landscape of our use cases. So we divided this use cases in 6 different areas. So that's all the classic migration use cases. That's, for example, migrating content to xECM, but also for cloud onboarding. So whenever you run your content suite or xECM within the cloud, so we can also help you here to onboard your content from your on-premise system to the cloud. We're also helping customers usually with consolidation scenarios. So that means, for example, to reduce repositories, the amount of repositories within your enterprise. But also we help you to consolidate technologies based and create a kind of single technology strategy based, for example, on OpenText Content Suite. So this is mainly happen during mergers and acquisitions. We see that quite often in the life science industry. And we helped a lot of customers over the last 15 years to get rid of different platforms within the enterprise and consolidate all these repositories and technologies into a single OpenText-based platform strategy. So we're also helping our customers usually with extend the platform within the enterprise. So that means onboard file shares from different departments, or just simply, let's say, migrate content from third-party products to the OpenText platform. So we're also helping with replacement scenarios. That's again, it's also legacy systems or file shares. We can just replace them and migrate everything or archive everything into the OpenText Content Suite. So then also we help customers with decommissioning of legacy applications. So we can migrate to Content Server and to xECM, but also we support, for example, Documentum, OpenText Documentum, and OpenText Info Archive for this decommissioning and archive scenarios. And last but not least, there's a bunch of other use cases we address, for example, test data management. So whenever you implement a new application, so it might be helpful to have some real test data. So we are able to extract data from the productive system and, and for example, make sure that those information are not accessible by, let's say, unauthorized people, for example, by replacing the content with dummy files, for example, things like that. So, and we have also time schedule or a batch import process within our product. We help you to publish documents to different places, and also we are able to reclassify your content within your repository. So that's the general landscape of our use cases we usually address. I mean, there are much more use cases out there, but that's all the common use cases within our customer base. And just to mention that, so we are a technology and service partner of OpenText, as Gretchen mentioned already. And we are really in close contact with OpenText and with the technical team on sharing ideas in terms of migration and the technology itself. So yeah, most customers are asking us why they should use Migration Center for all those use cases, and yeah, I mean the answer is pretty straightforward. So first of all, Migration Center is a real out-of-the-box product. It's not just an ETL tool; it's really a content migration platform, which allows you to integrate more than 160 different migration passes from multiple systems. Just out of the box. So you don't need any programming or scripting experiences. Everything is based on our UI. You will see that later on within the live demo. So that means there are no complex scripting files or configurations necessary to run your migration. So it's a really proven technology. We have over 500 customers globally, so on all continents, and we have done thousands of projects worldwide. So as I mentioned, so FME, it's founded in 1995. So Migration Center, the first release was in 2005. So we are almost more than 15 years on the market with our product. And you can imagine we integrated a lot of experience from our professional service organizations, from our partners, and also from our customers into that product. So we are also able to migrate without any downtime. So that means we do not interrupt scripting your daily business operations, because we have a lot of different capabilities within our product which avoid, let's say, search interruptions during the migration process. Everything is done in the back end. We provide a couple of features like delta migration capabilities and things like that to organize your migration and without any interruption of your productive systems. So we have a classifier, an engine within our product which helps you to classify your documents, to enrich your metadata, to map your metadata, to create structures and things like that. So, and everything is, as I mentioned, out of the box without any scripting or programming effort. So we also, for all the people who are working within the regulated industry, like the life science industry, but also nuclear power plant industries and things like that. So we are fit for regulated systems. We have proven that in many projects, and we are very proud because we can say that about 80% of the top 10 and about 60% of the top 30 life science companies are using our technology as the tool for migrating content within regulated or highly regulated environment. So also Migration Center, it's made for large volume and high performance. So our product is totally scalable. So you can set up a migration infrastructure with our product, and you can rescale it on different machines to speed up your migration. So we have also a global service, let's say, presence. So not just by FME. I mentioned we are in Romania, Germany, and the United States, but we have also a partner network, and we are very happy to work with your system integrators and partners together to solve your migration issues. So we are very flexible at this point. So that's a little bit about why you should use Migration Center for that kind of use cases. So let's go a little bit deeper into the solution itself. So Migration Center consists of three main components. We have the Windows client on top. By the way, we will replace this client within the second half of 2020 with a new web client. So that's part of our 4.0 release. So, and in this UI, in this front end, you have the whole the full control about all your migration phases, jobs, processes, configurations, and things like that. So then we have a central database in the middle, which includes the business logic and all the performance critical processes. Like, for example, if you have millions of records you want to, let's say, reclassify or restructure. So then, yeah, of course, you need a lot of performance to do so, because you can imagine if you have whatever 100 million records, each with more than 20 attributes, so there's a lot of stuff to do. So, and finally, so we have the job server. The job server is the component which runs all our, let's say, all our processes for exporting documents, as we say, scanning the documents from the source and importing the documents to the target. So, yeah, as you can see, so we have a couple of source connectors. So that means you can migrate, for example, from old content server versions to xECM or to Content Suite 16. So we also have connectors for eDocs, for eRoom, for Outlook, for SharePoint. Doesn't matter if it's on or off-prem, Office 365, FileNet, Lotus Notes, Alfresco, and so on and so forth. So we have a bunch of different source connectors which helps you to migrate your platforms to OpenText Content Server, or as I mentioned, Documentum or Info Archive. So yeah, that's for that. So we also have an API and framework around our core of the product. So this allows us and our partners, but also our customers, to build your own, let's say, custom connectors. Whenever we have something, or whenever something is missed on our list in terms of our out-of-the-box connectors, so we are able, or our partner or yourself are able to build your own connectors and just simply plug and play those new connectors into our, let's say, migration platform, and leverage, of course, all the existing connectors in combination. Okay, so that's one of our USPs. We have a predefined migration approach, and I just want to guide you to that approach because this is also important to understand the demo later on. So that's our 6 main phases within our product. So that means we are not just a simple ETL tool. So they are not these 3 phases: extract, transform, and load. So we have 6 phases, and that's what, from our understanding or from our experience, that's what our customers need to get the migration done. So it starts usually with an analyze and extraction phase. So that means we connect through the source system. We analyze the metadata and the content itself. We're extracting the content, and you can build a couple of reports based on that information. You can, for example, get deeper into your structure, into your metadata. You can have a look to the metadata which are not, let's say, filled at the moment. For example, sometimes there are mistakes in the metadata and so on. I mean, you can really go into detail and analyze your source system after you have done this this first phase. So, and the second phase is the organization phase. And you can imagine if you have millions of records, it's really difficult to find, let's say, one transformation model, one mapping model to handle all those documents, all those millions of documents in one big batch. So for that reason, we have a concept called migration sets. So we are able to create, let's say, sets based on different criteria, like whatever the date, the metadata you have extracted from the source. Doesn't matter. You can really organize your migration in manageable sets. And based on that set, you can then easily build your transformation and mapping configuration or model. So, and that means in the phase 3, so you define the transformation and the mapping. And as I mentioned, so migration is very powerful in terms of that transformation and mapping piece. So it's powerful. This features are really powerful, like a normal programming language. That means you have everything in place, which you usually know from a programming language or a script language, but just in that case, it's just configuration. So that means you configure your transformation and mapping model. You can build your mapping list. You can use functions like whatever, concatenate or split or extract the date from string, things like that. So, but Vasily will give you more details about that in the live demo. And based on that model, and this is really important to understand, within our product, you can execute this transformation logic right away without committing the data to the target system. So that means before you import the data, you can simulate your whole transformation model, and you see immediately the results and the new metadata and the new structure and the map values, for example. So that means you can also communicate with the business about the result before you're committing the data. So it means you can go back to the business and say, okay, that's all the documents we have scanned in this migration set. So, and the result after our first transformation would be that. So, and you can ask if this is correct. And in some cases, there are might be some mistakes or some problems to extract the metadata because they're just simply, the information are just simply missing in the source system. And you can also ask the business to complete the list. So, and then you can load the list back to Migration Center and use that information within the transformation phase to enrich your content, your objects with this, for example, business-provided information. So, and the fourth phase is the validation phase. So that means before we import or commit the data to the target repository, so we validate all the new values which has been created during the transformation phase through the target system object model. So that means so we check if the lengths are not exceeded, if a date is really a date. This is, for example, you can see that here on that red dot. With a date, it's ABC, so that will never work if you try to migrate this document with this ABC as a date. So you will run into an error during the import, of course. So, and everything like this will be detected before you're committing the data, and that reduced the amount of errors during the import dramatically. So whenever you have this kind of issue, so you can go into the correction phase. That's phase 5. Of course, it's optional. Maybe sometimes everything is validated correctly. So, but if not, you can just roll back your transformation, change your transformation model, or change the data manually if you want to. I mean, that makes just sense if you have a few documents with some errors. But if you have a bunch of documents, it makes sense to just go back, roll back the transformation, change your transformation model, configure whatever kind of exception or kind of default value, so just to make sure that all documents are let's say, are able to be validated after the transformation. So, and the sixth phase, and that's the last one. So when all the documents are in a validated state, so then you are able to commit the data and import the data to the content suite or to xECM. So that's the approach we have. This is really predefined. Doesn't matter which source system are connected. So the process is always the same. So that means you learn this tool once, and then you are able to migrate file shares, SharePoint, whatsoever, to document them to Content Server, to Content Suite, and to xECM or Info Archive. Okay, so now we just are getting closer to our demo, but before we start with the demo, I just want to give you a short, I mean, that's just 2 slides. I will not to go too much into detail in terms of the xECM. As I mentioned, Content Suite, that's for us, it's more or less the standard migration approach, but xECM is a little bit different, because as you probably know, that the users create business objects. In this case, it's a supplier. So in SAP, automatically SAP will trigger the event, and the content server will use the workspace template and create a new workspace, a new business workspace for that supplier, for example, and assign all the data, the roles, the structure, like the photo structure, relations, classifications, to that new business workspace. So, and all documents within this business workspace are displayed in context in the embedded workspace user interface within SAP. So that's just a short overview, just to remind you what does it mean in terms of the xECM solution from OpenText. So it's really high level. So if you need more information, just let us know, and we can go much deeper into that detail. But for now, it should be enough, I believe. So, and what we do exactly then is we are able, with our product, we are able to migrate any kind of information from different source systems to that particular business workspaces. So, and of course, we use our process of analyze, organize, transform, validate, and import. So, and all those documents are tagged correctly, the classifications are set. We also make sure that the information like the creation day, modification day will be the same as in the source system. We can add additional metadata, permissions, and so on and so forth. So that's all out of the box supported. And that's also what Vasily is now trying to show you. So within the quick demo, oh, sorry. So, and the demo which we prepared for today is an old Content Server version 10.5 to OpenText Content Suite 16 and into the mentioned business workspaces from Extended ECM. So, and with that, I will hand over to Vasily. Vasily will give you the overview about the product and give you a nice demo.
Thanks, Florian, and appreciate your time for joining to our webinar. So today I'm going to show you how Migration Center can be used to migrate documents from an old OpenText Content Server into a new Content Server Suite 16. So I'll migrate documents to business workspaces that are now connected to SAP. So the users can have a single point of truth, seeing those documents that are related to the customers in SAP. Okay, so my data in the old system is organized based on folder that for every customer I have a folder, and inside customer folder I have another folder structure that organizes the documents that are related to our orders, contracts, correspondence, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is my source data. In the target system, I have the business workspaces that are generated from SAP, so they are connected to SAP. Yeah, inside we have also predefined structures. So my documents from the legacy systems will be consolidated into the new system, and they will be distributed to the correct folder here. Okay, so now it's time to switch to Migration Center and do the job. Okay, for extracting the data from my legacy system, I'm going to Scanner section, where I have to create a new scanner. So for that, I will just click on the new button. I have to give a name to my scanner, and after that I have to choose the scanner I will use from the list. So we have connectors for many of well-known systems, so we can collect data from file system, Documentum, eRoom, SharePoint, OpenText, Alfresco, and some others. We also have a generic database connector then can be used for extracting data from legacy systems that are not supported out of the box. So with this connector, we can connect to any JDBC compliant database to extract the data from the underlying database. But well, for the OpenText, I will just create a new scanner from a template. So I will make a copy of an existing configuration. So I will just rename it, and you see the adapter is OpenText, and of course every adapter comes with its own parameters. So in case of OpenText scanner, we need to configure the credential to our content server. We need to specify where the service, web service, content server web service is deployed, because we use the out-of-the-box OpenText web service to connect to the content server and extract the data from there. You have to specify connection type, and after that you have to set some parameters that are really specific to your data. For example, you can call root folder means the workspace. So my data is localized in an enterprise workspace in this folder. So I'll collect all the documents from the folder structure under this folder configured here. And of course, there are many other parameters that use advanced functionality. So you can decide whether to export compound documents, rendition, shortcut, and in case you have a folder structure, a more complex folder structure that have metadata, so the folders have metadata, you can decide to export folders as distinct objects, so you can replicate the folder structure into including the metadata to the target system. And finally, I have to set the export location where my content will be exported. So I want to mention that the metadata that is collected from the OpenText will go into the database behind our tool, but the content is exported to a local folder or to a network share. So we only keep a reference where the content was exported. Okay, let's save the configuration, and let's hit the run button, and we should see it running in some seconds. In the jobs section, we can monitor the progress for every job server. So yeah, it is pretty fast. For this demo, I don't have too many documents. In the history, we can see how many times the job server was running, and we see now it is already finished. So for every job server, we'll have a report log. So we can see in case there are any error during the scanning, they are reported here. So yeah, this might be useful for some cases. But we also can see the scanned objects. So as I mentioned before, you see we have the information where the content was exported, plus the metadata we collected from the OpenText Content Server. So we extract the permissions, the information regarding categories, of course, content name, the date when it was created, who created the documents, and also all the properties we have in the categories that have been assigned to our documents. So if you go, oh, sorry, this is a target system. So if you go here and go to the categories, we see we have one category for our system where we have some metadata, and all those metadata from all categories is extracted. So this can be used for generating the values we need for the target system, because yeah, in the target system, maybe we need to organize our metadata in a slightly different way. And we have also the parent folder and some other attributes that we collected from the content server. Okay, as Florian mentioned in the presentation, the next phase of every migration project is organizing the data in a manageable migration set. So for that, I'm going to migration sets. So in this section, I will assign my data to a mix set. So that can be a one-to-one process, or in case I extract millions of documents with a single scanner, maybe I need to split the data over multiple mix sets. So in our case, yeah, we'll assign the data to a single mix set. So I have a template for migrating documents from OpenText to OpenText. I'll use this template to assign my data. I will rename it, and in the file selection, I will select my scanner. So yeah, if I need to filter the data based on classification or whatever, I can do that in the filtering tabs, but this is not my case today, so I will just select the objects. So you see all of them have been assigned to my mix set. So right now they are in the unprocessed phase. The next step of the migration is to define the transformation rules that fit with our data model in the target system. For that, I'm opening the transformation rules editor. So yeah, here I have all the transformation rules I need for my case. Well, I prepared that before. So what you can see in the rules section, they are all custom attributes. So they are specific to your data. In the rules for system attributes, we have system rules that have a special meaning for the importer. So they are fixed. So for example, permissions, classification, we have to specify the name of every document or folder we are importing, the parent folder, settings regarding versions, and stuff like that. And of course, we have to specify the target type. So we can assign to our documents, we can assign any number of categories, any number of classification, and yeah. For my documents, I have a single categories called SAP orders. So I assign this category together with the properties belonging to that applies to this category. So just to give you a rough idea about how to use to generate the values for your transformation rules, well, I will delete just this one. So I have a field description in my category. So the simplest function is get value function. So I will use it for getting the value from the original description. As you can see, in the legacy system, my category was named ordered, so I had also a description field in that category. So I'll just use populate my target attributes with the description coming from the content server, and that is, of course, this is the happy scenario, but in some cases we need to have more complex transformations. So yeah, for giving you an example, let me open source attributes view. So as you can see, we have the original parent folder coming from the source system. But if we look on the target system, my folder is slightly different. So I want to distribute my documents over SAP Workspaces that is also generated based on customer name, but the name of the workspace contains also the ID, internal ID of the customer. I have the ID of the customer in the search system. So normally I should be able to use all this information to generate the folder structure I need for the folder paths I need for the target system. So let's go back to edit transformation rules, and let's have a look on parent folder. So here I have a little bit more transformation functions. So if we open this one, the first one, in the first one I actually extract the name of the company from the folder path that is on the fourth level of my folder structure, and in the second step, I map this value with a mapping list that I created in a mapping list section. So I extracted the information from SAP and pasted here in the mapping list. So I have the association between customer name and customer ID. This is a very useful functionality for mapping your source values to the target values. And after that, I concatenate the first part of the path with the name of the company and with the ID and so on. So this transformation engine is very flexible, so you can use any number of transformation functions you need to construct your values or to prepare your values for the target system. So they work in that way that the output of a step becomes input of another step. So you have unlimited options to transform your data. In the association tab, we specify the categories and their properties. So, for example, in our case, I assigned SAP order category, and I map my rules with the category attributes. And I also want to preserve the original created and modified data because that's usually an important information for the end users. Okay, so let's save this form. So yeah, we need to apply the transformation and invalidation. So we will see our documents will be moved to transform, and after that to validated columns. In case there are errors during the validation, we can see them in the error section. So yeah, we can correct them. So we have a validation engine that does primary validation. So it will not let you to try to import documents that have missing data, missing metadata, or wrong values for the metadata, because they will fail anyway during the import phase. So you have the chance to correct the errors before submitting your mixset to the importer. Okay, so only the documents that are validated can be submitted to the importer. So yeah. Good. Next phase, and actually the last phase, would be to import our data into the Business Workspaces. So for that, I will also create a copy of the importer. So as for scanner, we have to specify the credential, authentication, links, and some options. I won't insist on explaining every of them because, yeah, that are well described in the user manual. So, yeah, maybe I should mention that we have a check content integrity option, so that can be used to calculate the checksum and check the content integrity, compare the checksum from the source system with the checksum from the target system to make sure that our content was not altered during migration. Okay, I will assign my my mixset to the importer. So I will run the hit button, and as we've seen for scanners, we can monitor the progress in the job section. Yeah, there is an initialization phase. So in the mixset, we can see also how objects are moving to imported phase. So yeah, for the best performance, we run the importer on multiple threads, so that's configurable. So this importer runs now on 10 threads. So in this way, we can scale the performance of our jobs. So okay, I cannot save it because it is running. And as you can see, this scanning, importing, transformation validations are all background processes. So you don't you start the process and you can work on different other configurations in the meantime. So in Migration Center client, you only monitor the jobs. Okay, so yeah, this is already done. We see in Migration Center in the mix apps that all objects move to imported phase. So now we should be able to see them in our Business Workspaces. So let's have a look here. Yeah, we have all the documents here distributed on the folder structure that was generated from SAP. And yeah, let's have a look on the data. You see the data, the modified date, for example, was preserved from the old system, and we also should have our category called SAP order with some metadata.
Okay, great.
Well, this is pretty much what I wanted to show today. So yeah, if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Vasily, for the quick demo. I mean, there's much more to say about Migration Center. We have plenty of capabilities, features, functions, things like that, as I mentioned. So, but for now, we just want to give you a quick overview. Whenever you need more information about Migration Center, or you want to have a one-to-one demo, or you want to try the software by yourself, so just let us know. So we are very glad to give you a one-by-one session and get more into details. So I just want to summarize shortly our capabilities, which are almost our USP. As I mentioned, that's the transformation engine. This is the capabilities to handle large data volumes. Is the simulation in real time, testing of all the transformation rules. We have this predefined approach. We have Delta capabilities within our product. Everything you saw within the demo is automatically logged in the data in a kind of, let's say, protocol. So that means you know exactly what's happened during the migration, where the documents came from, where they go through. The IDs, the target IDs, the source IDs are stored within our product and can be used for reports later on. So we have also in-place capabilities within our product. So that means you can also just scan the system, reclassify your content, and save this updated information back to the same repository. We have an artificial intelligence module within our product, which allows you to auto classify your content. For example, coming from a file share based on supervised learning algorithm, which are really simple to use and easy to train. So for your migration purpose. So, and also we have this open connectivity architecture, which allows you mainly to build your own connectors or let us or partners build connectors based on our platform. So last but not least, so around our product, we also provide a couple of services. So we're providing, so you can select from the different options like the Analyze and Planning service, Proof of Concept, Connected Development. Of course, we provide maintenance and support. We have on-site and remote trainings available. We help you during the quality assurance, for example, or the validation documentation. We monitor and create reports for you based on your migration. We install and configure the product, of course, but also we can offer the full service. So that means whenever you have a migration, so you can leverage our team to do the migration together with the Migration Center in a, let's say, predefined migration as a service package. So just let us know if you're interested in that as well. So we are glad to give you more information about our migration service. So, and the last slide, so if you want to have more information about our product and our services, just to go to our websites. So it's for the product, it's migration-center.com or FMEDE or FME-us.com. So they are on all those platforms, on all those websites, you find a lot of information for FME. So it's on FME for the service on FMEDE and FME-us.com. So, and again, for product, it's migrationcenter.com. So on that website, we provide evaluation copies. We explain the product features. You have plenty of recorded webinars available, success stories, case studies, and so on and so forth. And I just want to mention the next upcoming event. I mean, you all know because of the COVID-19 virus, so the OpenText Enterprise World Europe turns into a digital format, which will take place in April. So feel free to join that event as well. So we will be there. We will also showcasing or presenting our services and our product portfolio. So just to let you know. So and again, if you have any questions, so just go to our website or send us directly an email. So we are really glad to create some or to organize some one-by-one session with you, or you just simply can try our product. So the evaluation copy, which is a full-blown copy, it's available for 14 days. So if needed, we can also extend the period for you. So, but everything it's located on our website. So yeah, that's from our side. Thanks a lot for joining our webinar today. I hope you got the information you expected. So, and if not, again, so just get in touch with us. So thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you so much to Mr. Lay and to Florian for your presentation today. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Gretchen. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.